Hello students, welcome to your channel Parivartan Physics. See, we are in the series of videos where we are learning NEET as well as KCET Physics. We are in the chapter called as alternating current. This is the second video on alternating current. See, electromagnetic induction Virgo, the detailed videos have been uploaded in the channel, so you can watch the videos. You can just visit the playlist and you will find the number of videos. So those who are preparing for NEET as well as KCET, for them these videos are extremely helpful. So you can have a very good grip on all the concepts of second PUC physics, first PUC physics, as well as you can score very good in your NEET as well as KCET, right? So if you are not subscribed to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. In this video, we'll study everything about phasor diagrams as well as phase difference. So how to draw the phasor diagrams, we'll understand clearly about the phasor diagrams and we'll understand how to write the phase difference in this video, right? Very important thing regarding alternating current. So we'll see that in detail in this video. See, phasor diagram means these are the rotating vectors. So I will go on showing you about the phasor diagrams as well as waveforms. Andre ikkade now alternating current sine wave tagolona. We'll take sine wave on this side and we'll represent that sine wave with the help of the rotating vectors on this side, right? Okay, let me tell you. ಈಗ ನಾ AC ದ ಒಂದು positive half cycle ತಗೋತೀನಿ. I will take one positive half cycle of AC and then we'll go on drawing that on what phasor diagram, right? Okay, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಒಂದು positive axis and negative axis ಎರಡು ಅದಾವ. See, I will take one AC half cycle here, positive AC half cycle. So let us go step by step. Let me say the AC is at the origin now. ಈಗ ನಮಗೇನು AC ದ half cycle ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದಲ್ರಿ. See, AC ದ full cycle ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? What is the full cycle of AC? This is said to be full cycle of AC. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ಒಂದು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಹಾಫ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಒಂದು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಹಾಫ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. Then this is called full cycle of AC. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು full cycle ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. Here presently to first understand the basics of vectors ಅಥವಾ rotating vectors ಅಥವಾ phasor diagram ಅಂತ ಏನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ, I will take just half cycle of the AC. So half cycle of AC use ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು we'll understand how to draw the phasor diagrams. Okay, now let us see. See, first let me say the curve is at origin. When the curve is at origin, at that time the rotating vector will be exactly along the positive x-axis. It will be exactly along the positive axis. And let me say the AC cycle will come up to this point. ಈಗ AC ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೋರಿ. ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಬಂತು. It has come up till this point. So when the AC cycle has come up till this point, the arrow ಅಥವಾ the vector ಏನದಲ್ಲ, ಆ vector ನಮಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟು rotate ಆಗ್ತದೆ. It will rotate this much. Why? It is at the same level. ಇದು ಯಾವ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಒಳಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಇರ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ಅದೇ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಒಳಗನ ಅದು ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ ನಮಗೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದ್ರಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿರ್ತದ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ಹೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅಟ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್. ಸಿ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅಟ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್, ರೈಟ್? ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, if as this AC cycle goes on growing, ಈ AC cycle ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬಂತು ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೋರಿ. If it has come over here, then the vector will again rotate and it will come up. ಮತ್ತೆ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಬರ್ತದ್ರಿ. If it has come up till this point, then again the vector will get rotated. So it is getting rotated. As the cycle comes to this point, again the vector will come up. Matte vector melgade bartadri. So now the cycle will reach the peak of its half cycle. So idu AC namage ege enagtadappa andre it will reach the peak. Idu namagu peak ರೀ. Peak andre ena maximum value. So when it reaches the peak, at that time the vector will be exactly along positive y-axis. So as the cycle reaches from origin to the peak, the vector rotates by an angle 90 degree. So ಇದು ಎಷ್ಟು rotate ಆಯ್ತು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಈಗ? It has rotated by an angle 90 degree. Correct? ಎಷ್ಟು half cycle ಆಗಿದ್ದು ಕೂಡಲೇ. ಈ next ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಈಗ ನಾವು origin ದಿಂದ peak ಬರೋದ್ರೊಳಗೆ the rotating vector traveled from positive x-axis to positive y-axis. ಅಂದ್ರೆ 90 degree ನಮ್ಗೆ rotate ಆಯ್ತು. 90 degree ಅದು displace ಆಯ್ತು. Now as this curve goes down step by step, ಈ curve ನಮಗೆ step by step ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಬಂದಂಗ್ರಿ, ಈ ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತದಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ it will rotate next 90 degree like this. ಈ ಕಡೆ next 90 degree ನಮಗೆ rotate ಆಗ್ತದೆ, right? So as half cycle of AC gets completed, the vector will rotate by an angle of 180 degree. So ಅದು ನಮಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು rotate ಆಯ್ತ್ರಿ? 180 degree rotate ಆಯ್ತು. Next half cycle of AC complete ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, for the next half cycle of AC, this vector will rotate by one more 80 degree. ಮತ್ತು 180 degree ನಮಗೆ ಇದು rotate ಆಗ್ತದೆ. So total ಒಂದು rotation ಇದ್ರದ್ದು complete ಆಯ್ತು. It started from positive x-axis, it has come back to positive x-axis. So as one cycle of AC gets completed, the vector will rotate by an angle of 360 degree. by an angle of 360 degree. In which direction it is rotating? It is rotating in a direction of anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise direction is taken positive. Right? Physics ಒಳಗೆ ನಾವು anti-clockwise positive ಅಂತ ತಗೋತೀವಿ, clockwise ನಾವು negative ಅಂತ ತಗೋತೀವಿ. So rotating vectors, I mean the phasors will be rotating in anti-clockwise direction. Right? Suppose ಈಗ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಮಗೆ ಏನೋ ಬೇರೆ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಅದ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೋರಿ. ಈಗ ನಮಗೆ ಈ AC ಬದಲಿ let me say we are having one more alternating current cycle here. It is like this. ನಮಗೆ ಈ ತರ ಅದ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೋರಿ. Right? So what is the difference? The first cycle which we had taken, its amplitude was this much. The second cycle which we have taken, its amplitude is greater than the first cycle. So if the amplitude is greater, then the vector which we are taking here should be greater. Idu namaga idikkintalu doddirbeku. It has to be this much, right? Andre itrade namaga maximum amplitude adala allivargu namaga vector irbeku. So what happens? The length of the vector we have to show more. As the amplitude of the wave increases, the length of the vector we have to show more. Adana ನಾವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ತೋರಿಸಬೇಕು, right? Okay, this is how we have to show the rotating vectors by referring the alternating current cycle here. Alternating current cycle refer ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವಿಲ್ಲ ಈ ತರ ತೋರಿಸಬೇಕು. Okay, next we'll go for phasor diagrams in different cases now. See, first thing, I will take two cycles here. AC the ಎರಡು cycles ಅನ್ನು ತಗೋತೀನಿ. Let me say one is current and one is voltage. So the first cycle is like this. This is the first cycle of AC. Okay. So see all the examples which I am going to solve now. I mean all the diagrams which I am going to draw. You will get a clear idea about that. Okay, this is the first cycle. Right? So ಈಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಏನದಲ್ಲ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ AC ನಾವು ಈಗ ಏನು ತಗೊಂಡ್ವಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಈ AC ದ ನೀವೀಗ ಫೇಸರ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ತೋರಿಸಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಡಿ. ಇಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್. ನಾ ಈಗ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಇಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್. ಸಪೋಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಸೈಕಲ್ ಒರಿಜಿನ್ ದಿಂದ ಶುರು ಆಗಿತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಒರಿಜಿನ್, you should show its vector along positive x-axis. ಆಗಲೇ ನಾವು ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒರಿಜಿನ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಒಳಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ರೋಟೇಟಿಂಗ್ ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ವಿ, ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ x-axis ಮೇಲೆ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ವಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ಸೈಕಲ್ ನಮಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿತ್ರಿ? ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಒರಿಜಿನ್. ಸೊ ಒರಿಜಿನ್ ದಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅದರದ್ದು ರೋಟೇಟಿಂಗ್ ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ ನ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸಬೇಕು? ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಶೋ ಇಟ್ ಆನ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ x-axis, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ x-axis. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್. We'll take one more cycle. So AC dina innondu cycle tagotini. So the next another cycle of AC is like this now. Okay, this is another cycle of AC, right? Okay, what is the difference? What is the difference? There is the difference in the amplitude. There is the difference in the amplitude. First cycle of AC was having an amplitude of this much. This is the amplitude of the first cycle of AC. Second cycle of AC is having an amplitude of this much. This is the amplitude of the second cycle. So second cycle is greater. From where the second cycle is starting? The second cycle is also starting from origin only. ಅದು ಕೂಡ ನಮಗೆ origin ದಿಂದನೇ ಶುರು ಆಗತೈತ್ರಿ. ಬಟ್ ಏನ್ರಿ ಅದರ amplitude ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅದು. It is starting from origin only, but its amplitude is greater. See, since both the cycles are starting from origin only, we have to show both the vectors on positive x-axis only. Right? Positive x-axis ದಿಂದನೇ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So ಈಗ ನಾ positive x-axis ನಿಂದ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ, but I will show the amplitude greater than the previous vector. Previous vector ಏನಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ yellow color ಇದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತನೂ ಇದರ amplitude ನ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. Right? Okay. See how these two waves are. ಈ ಎರಡು ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಈ ಎರಡು ವೇವ್ಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ಹೆಂಗದಾವ? Both the waves are reaching their peak values at the same instant. ಎರಡು waves ನಮಗೆ peak value at the same instant reach ಆಗತ್ತವ್ರಿ. Right? At this instant only both of them are reaching the peak value, and at a time they both are reaching the minimum value. At a time they both are reaching the maximum, negative maximum value. At a time they both are reaching the minimum value. So both cycles are reaching the peaks at the same instant, reaching the minimum at the same instant, and reaching the depth at the same instant. So these two waves are said to be in phase. I will call these two waves are in phase, and if they are in phase, then the phase difference should be taken as 0 degree. ಅದರ phase difference ನಮಗೆ 0 degree ಅದ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಆ 0 degree phase difference ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದ್ರಿ. Both the vectors are along positive x-axis only. Then how much is the phase difference between them? Phase difference between them is 0 degree. Right? So this indicates two waves which are in phase, whose phase difference is 0 degree. Next, we'll take one more example here. We'll take one more example. See, I will take one AC cycle here, and this AC cycle is starting from positive y-axis. Idu namagu positive y-axis ದಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಈ ತರ ನಮಗೆ ಇದು AC cycle ಅದರಿ. It is like this now. Right? Okay, ಇಲ್ಲೇ positive x-axis ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಇಲ್ಲೇ. Okay, this is the positive x-axis. Okay, let me show it here also. This is the positive x-axis we are going to take. Okay, so we'll continue. So this one the cycle now tagondvi. We'll take one more cycle here. I will take one more cycle. So that cycle is also starting from positive y-axis itself, and it is moving like this. Sorry, let me take it here. Okay, so it is moving like this, right? Okay, so both the cycles are presently like this. See, now if you want to draw the vector diagram, I mean the phasor diagram for these things, we'll draw it like this. First thing, is the amplitude of both the vectors same? No, amplitude of both the vectors is different. Bere bere amplitude adare namagu, correct? Okay, so hingagi length of the vectors namagu bere bere irbeku. Length bere bere yake irbekandre amplitude bere bere da, hingagi vector the length namagu bere bere irbeku. First thing, from where the vectors are starting? Vectors are starting from origin, from positive y-axis or from origin. Ille namagu origin dinda start agitri. Ille they are starting from positive y-axis. So I have to show the first cycle along positive y-axis and its length has to be this much. Atrada length namagu ishtu irbekri. Andre atrada amplitude now will torsative. So it will be this much. This is the first vector. Second vector kuda namagu allindana start agatadri. Second vector is also beginning from the positive y-axis only, but instantly its amplitude is greater. Atrada amplitude jaasti irodrinda I will show that second vector here with more amplitude than the previous one. So both of them we are showing at the same thing. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೀವು ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಬೇಕು. ಈ ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಏನದಾವಲ್ಲ ಇವೆರಡು ಒಂದೇ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಒಳಗದಾವ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊರಿ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಮ್ದು ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಇಂದ ಮುಂದೆ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಬೋತ್ ದ ಡೆಪ್ತ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಅಟ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್. Both are reaching the minimum at the same instant. Both are reaching the peak at the same instant. So if two waves are reaching the peak as well as crest as well as throws at the same time, then they are said to be in phase. They are said to be in phase, and the phase difference between them is 0 degree. So even though here also you can see both the vectors are along same straight line. That's why how much will be the phase difference in this case? Phase difference is said to be 0, right? Okay, let us continue then. We'll take one more example. Okay, ಈಗ ನಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತಗೋತೀನಿ. Okay, let me draw the AC first. So ಈಗ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಒಂದು AC cycle ನಾವು ಏನು ತಗೋತೀವಲ್ಲ, that AC is here. It may be a current or it may be a voltage. I am generally taking here, and about these different circuits of AC we'll discuss it in the next video. Here we are just going to see about the phasor diagrams. Okay, this is first cycle of AC. We'll take one more cycle of AC. So this is another cycle of AC, correct? So the another cycle of AC I am drawing it here. Okay, you can just observe what is the difference now. ಏನು difference ಅದ ಅಂತ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದೆ. What is the difference? When first cycle is at origin, second cycle is at peak, right? When first cycle is at peak, second cycle is at x-axis, andre 0 at origin. When second cycle is at x-axis, first cycle is at x-axis, second cycle is at the peak. So when one cycle is at maximum, another cycle is at minimum. When first cycle is at minimum, another cycle is at maximum. So they are out of phase now. ಯಾಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಪೀಕ್ ಎರಡು ಕೂಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಡೆಪ್ತ್ಸ್ ಎರಡು ಕೂಡಿಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ. ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಇದು ಪೀಕ್ ಒಳಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ಇದು ನಮಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒರಿಜಿನ್ ಒಳಗಿದ್ದಂಗ ಅದರಿ. ಇದು ನಮಗೆ ಒರಿಜಿನ್ ಒಳಗಿದ್ದಾಗ್ರಿ, ಇದು ನಮಗೆ ಪೀಕ್ ಒಳಗದರಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಬೋತ್ ವೇವ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸೇಡ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೇಸ್. ಇವು ಎರಡು ನಮಗೆ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಅದರಿ. These both are said to be out of phase. And what is happening here? Crest, peak of one and minimum of one. So peak and minimum, peak of the first wave and minimum value, I mean origin of the second, both are coinciding. So peak ಮತ್ತು x axis ಮೇಲೆ ಇರುವಂತ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಎರಡು coincide ಆಗತ್ತಿದ್ದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ they are said to be out of phase by an angle of 90 degree. ಅವು ನಮಗೆ 90 degree out of phase ಅದಾವ ಅಂತ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಅದು, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಈ ತರದ ರೊಟೇಟಿಂಗ್ ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಥ್ರೂ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ ತೋರಿಸಬೇಕು. ಸಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಕಲರ್ ಏನ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಅದ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಒರಿಜಿನ್. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಒರಿಜಿನ್. ಸೊ ಅದರದ ನಾ ಈಗ ಫೇಸರ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ರೊಟೇಟಿಂಗ್ ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸಬೇಕು. ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಶೋ ಇಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ರೈಟ್? ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಕಲರ್ ಸೈಕಲ್, ರೈಟ್? ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಒರಿಜಿನ್. ಅದು ಒರಿಜಿನ್ ದಿಂದ ಶುರು ಆಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾ ಇಲ್ಲೇ along positive x axis ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ. which starts from origin, you show it along positive x axis. Which starts from positive y axis, you show that vector along positive y axis. Which starts from negative y axis, you show that from negative y axis, right? Okay, ಈಗ second cycle ನೋಡ್ರಿ, green color cycle, from where it is starting? It is starting from positive. It is starting from positive y axis, right? So I will show that here. ಅದನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. I will show it here, right? So this is the positive, this is along positive y axis. So how much is the phase difference here? Nodri, ಎಷ್ಟು phase difference ಇದೆ? The phase difference is 90 degree, right? ಇದು ನಮಗೆ positive x axis ಮೇಲೆ ಇದೆ, ಇದು ನಮಗೆ negative positive y axis ಮೇಲೆ ಇದೆ. So phase difference is said to be 90 degree. Okay, ಇನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, you should observe these vectors along anti-clockwise direction. Anti-clockwise direction ಒಳಗೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಈಗ ಇದು ನಮಗೆ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಕಲರ್ ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಅದೇ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇದು ನಮಗೆ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಕಲರ್ ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಅದ್ರಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಕಲರ್ ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಯಾವ್ದು? ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೀಡಿಂಗ್, ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಲೀಡ್ಸ್ yellow, green leads yellow because in anti-clockwise direction green is forward than y. ಅಥವಾ ಇದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬರಿಬಹುದ್ರಿ? y lags behind g ಅಂತನ ಬರಿಬಹುದು, y lags behind green ಅಂತನ ಬರಿಬಹುದು. Like this we have to write it, right? Okay, we'll take one more case then. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಇದು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಇದು ನಮಗೆ ಫೇಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ 90 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಇದೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಈ ಫೇಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ನೀವು ಹಿಂಗೂ ತೋರಿಸಬಹುದ್ರಿ. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಶೋ ಇಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಸಿ, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಶೋ ಇಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. If the yellow color vector is here and green color vector has to be here. Okay, sorry, let me show it again. Okay, so I will show the green color vector here. Now also the phase difference between them is 90 degree only. Idu correct re. See, the phase difference between them is 90 degree. And again, if you observe in anti-clockwise direction, G is front of Y. Correct? So this is also correct. Both the phasor diagrams indicate the same waveform. Either waveform indicate ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ, right? Anti-clockwise direction ಒಳಗೆ ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನ. Okay, we'll go to one more example then. Okay, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ನೋಡ್ರಿ. So here I will take one more example and let me show you. See, first AC, I will take it here. The first AC is like this. This is the first cycle. Or first waveform. And we'll take one more second one here. I will take second one here. Okay, this is the second waveform, right? Okay. So we are having the second wave like this. What is the difference? Now you can check what is the difference. When the first cycle is at origin, second cycle is at peak. When the first cycle is at peak, second cycle is at minimum, I mean origin. When the second cycle is at peak, first cycle is at origin. When the second cycle is at origin, first cycle is at peak. So again, the peaks are not meeting. Peak ನಮಗೆ ಮೀಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಕ್ರೆಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ಥ್ರೋಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ಮೀಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೇಸ್. ಇವೆರಡು ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನದಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೇಸ್. ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದರ್? ಫೇಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ 90 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಕ್ರೆಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಥ್ರೋಸ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ ತೋರಿಸಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಈಗ ನಾ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಕಲರ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸಬೇಕು? ವೇರ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಶೋ ಇಟ್? ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಒರಿಜಿನ್, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಶೋ ಇಟ್ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್. ನಾ ಅದ್ರ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ತೋರಿಸಬೇಕು. I have to show it on positive x-axis, right? Okay, green color cycle is starting from negative y-axis. So I should show it along the negative y-axis now. So ille along the negative y-axis na toristini. Now you check how much is the phase difference. Yes, phase difference ade. Phase difference between them is 90 degree. Right? This is yellow color and this is green color. If you see in the anti-clockwise direction, which is leading here, y leads G ಅಂತನ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದ್ರಿ. Y leads G ಅಂತನ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ G lags behind Y ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. The same diagram you can show it like this also. See, first yellow color should be leading. ನಾ ಈಗ yellow color positive Y axis ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, if I take yellow color on positive Y axis, green color I have to take on positive X axis because phase difference has to be 90 degree. Phase difference ನಮಗೆ 90 degree ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ರಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇದನ್ನ positive X axis ಮೇಲೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. Okay, ಈಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, this is green color, this is yellow color. Phase difference between them is 90 degree. And if you see in the anti-clockwise direction, still Y leads G. Correct? Okay, well, we'll see one more diagram then. Okay, so ಈ diagram ಒಳಗೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, I will take the AC cycles like this. See, this is the first cycle. Let me take it like this. First cycle. And one more cycle I will take it here. This is the second cycle. Right? Okay, what is the phase difference? ಈಗ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲೇ phase difference ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದ್ರಿ. See, ಈಗ when one cycle is in the negative peak, another cycle is in the positive peak. When one cycle is in the negative peak, another cycle is in the positive peak. So first cycle ನಮಗೆ positive peak ಒಳಗದೆ, second cycle ನಮಗೆ negative peak ಒಳಗದ್ರಿ. Second cycle is in negative peak. So how much is the phase difference? Phase difference is 180 degree. Correct? So I have to show those vectors here in this way. ನಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಎರಡು ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನು ಈ ತರ ತೋರಿಸಬೇಕು. ಒಂದು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ y axis ಮೇಲೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ, ಒಂದು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ y axis ಮೇಲೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. So that the phase difference between them will be 180 degree. So ಎರಡು phase difference ನಮಗೆ 180 degree ಇರ್ತದೆ. Right? So like this we have to show it. 180 degree is the phase difference. These are also out of phase. How much angle out of phase they are? they are out of phase by a phase difference of pi. By phase difference of pi, right? Okay, so like this we have to show it. ಈ ಒಂದು ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಒಳಗ್ರಿ ಎರಡು ಒರಿಜಿನ್ ಇಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನೀವು ಎರಡು ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಪೀಕ್ಸ್ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಒಂದು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಪೀಕ್ ಒಳಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ಒಂದು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಪೀಕ್ ಒಳಗದ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಹಿಯರ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಶೋ ಇಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್. ಸೊ ದ ಫೇಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ 180 degree. I hope you have understood how to draw the phasor diagrams in this case. I guess there is one more case. Okay, we'll see one more case here. Okay, one more case I will show. See. Here, let me take the first AC cycle like this. This is the first AC cycle. This is the first AC cycle, right? And we'll take the second AC cycle. Second AC cycle like this. So this is the second AC cycle. This is the second AC cycle. Correct? Okay. See here what is happening. First cycle is starting from origin. First cycle is starting from origin. Second cycle is starting from positive y-axis. But you can observe this is not the peak of the second cycle. Peak of the second cycle illada nodri. This is the peak of the second cycle. So it is not the peak of second cycle. Peak of second cycle illada, peak of second cycle ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲದರಿ. Correct? So in case ನಮಗೆ ಅದು ಹೆಂಗಿರ್ತೈತೆ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೋರಿ. ಇದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ನಮಗೆ ಒರಿಜಿನ್ ಇಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಕೂಡ ನಮಗೆ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ is starting from here, ನೀವು ಅವಾಗ ಇತರ ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ ನಮಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ y axis ಮೇಲೆ ತೋರಿಸಬಹುದಿತ್ತು. You would have shown it along positive y axis. So now what difference happens is, see, ಈಗ ನಮಗೆ ಈ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಕಲರ್ ಏನ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಅದಲ್ಲ, ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಕಲರ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಅಂತೂ ನೀವು ಒರಿಜಿನ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಯು ಶೋ ಇಟ್ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ x axis only, yellow color. And since second cycle is starting from this point, is starting from this point, which is not the peak of that second wave the peak ಅದ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದರ ಸಲುವಾಗಿ ಅದರ ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ ನ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ y axis ಮೇಲೆ ತೋರಿಸಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. I will show it here, right? Okay, because this is the level, it is the peak level of that. So ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅದನ್ನ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ತೋರಿಸಬೇಕು. ಅದರ ಪೀಕ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಕದ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ತೋರಿಸಬೇಕು. We have to show it like this. Why? Because it is not starting from the peak. ಅದು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ y axis ಮೇಲೆ ಅದು ಪೀಕ್ ದಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ. ಅದರ ಪೀಕ್ ದಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಶುರುವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಪೀಕ್ ಗಿಂತ ಮುಂದಿಂದ ಶುರು ಆಗೈತ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ಅದ್ರ ಪೀಕ್ ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಬರ್ತದ್ರಿ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಪೀಕ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ somewhere behind here. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಅದರ ಪೀಕ್ ಬರ್ತದ್ರಿ. Here is its peak. So it is not starting from peak on positive y axis. That's why this vector has to be here. Suppose ಏನಾದರೂ ಈ ಪೀಕ್ ನಮಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಶುರು ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ಈ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಕಲರ್ ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ, right? So in this case, how much is the phase difference? Phase difference is less than 90 degree in this case. Phase difference is less than 90 degree, right? So ಈಗ ಆಂಟಿ ಕ್ಲಾಕ್ವೈಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಒಳಗೆ ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ green color is leading yellow color. Green color is leading yellow color. So this is how we have to draw the phasor diagrams, and we have to understand the waveforms related to that, right? I guess you have understood. Dear students, if you like the content of this channel, please don't forget to subscribe the channel and share the video with your friends. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. Please keep watching and supporting the channel. Thank you.